Hey, it's time for TV Skywriter. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to TV Skywriter. I'm Patricia A. Murray, your host. I do this show from Durham, North Carolina, here in the USA. Basically, I like to talk to really interesting people, entrepreneurs, writers, musicians, whatever. And today, we have a very special guest, 17-year-old Nick Drossos, a singer originally from Melbourne, Australia. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Doing great and very happy to have you on. Now, I want to tell you why I wanted to interview you, Nick. I somehow stumbled across one of your videos. I think you were probably 15. It was a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah?
And I said, this kid, I think he's going to really do something because you were very clever with your marketing, your video, and you're a good singer.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've really developed in that genre of kind of working social media and getting my name recognized and finding little ways to get my name out there. Yeah, so I've really developed in that way.
Well, we'll talk about that in detail in a little bit. But first, I'd like to know, when did you start liking music? I mean, seriously, how old were you when you decided you wanted to start singing? Oh no, Nick just went offline. Oh shoot. I don't know what happened, folks. He just dropped off the face of the earth, and I assume he will come back soon. Let me tell you a little bit about him, though. I discovered, again, one of his videos when he was about 15. He was doing cover songs. A lot of singers are, it seems, discovered that way, doing cover songs on YouTube, and then they gain a fan base, as he has. I think Nick says he has about 60,000 followers on Twitter, which I think is awfully good. But anyway, he's actually from Melbourne. He's here in the United States, and we'll talk about that when he rejoins. But basically, I really wanted to interview him because his work ethic really impressed me. He was, again, doing cover songs and then very cleverly getting his name out by linking it with other young singers' names. We'll talk about that in terms of keywords. And then he was putting out, I think he had a kids group called Neon Kids, a bunch of young teenagers, including himself. I think he was like probably 13 then or 14. And then he started getting his name out more and more and more. And now he's in the USA. Trying to make a go of it, and I really wish him a lot of luck. So let's just wait a couple of minutes. I really hope he can join. I don't know if his, and he's in LA right now. So there, oh, he's back. Nick is back.
Hello, so sorry. My computer full on blacked out. I don't know. I think it went to sleep or something. I'm not sure.
That was scary, but that's okay. You're back.
Yes, I'm back. Hello.
I was telling the audience the same thing that I had just said to you, that I had stumbled across your videos, really liked them, and really liked your work ethic, which brought you here to the US. So I wanted to ask you how you even got started with music. Most of us listen to the radio or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you must have taken music very seriously at a young age. I'm wondering how old you were.
Well, I mean, music's kind of been in my life ever since I was probably around 3. I don't know. But it always starts with your parents singing, and they sing to you. And I guess I kind of caught that vibe and started singing myself. And I went through school singing like in the choirs, as most people do. And then by about when I started, for me it's high school, which is around year 7, and I started to go in this choir. I was very much a choir boy, and I sung in church and stuff like that for the school. And from there, I kind of developed into a more pop singer. I found my love for pop music and singing that genre. So I really moved into that from such a drastic change from opera music to pop music, which is kind of hard to do because opera is very proper and pronunciation is very illiterate, and going to pop music, you kind of have to tone it all down. So I did start singing at quite a young age. Yeah.
So I'm curious because I don't know much about the recording
Yes.
thing now. I mean, when you were making your cover songs, when you were starting, what, 13, 14?
Yeah, around 13, 14.
So I'm curious, where does the background music come from when you were making?
Background music. Oh, well, mostly for the cover songs, I'll usually find a really good karaoke track on iTunes or just a common kind of. I sometimes found them on YouTube, which is really helpful. So I would get that, and at the very beginning, I would just record on my computer just for fun. But when it started getting a bit more serious, we would go into the studio and have a proper microphone. That kind of got a bit more serious with recording the songs. So it's been a process.
Nice. So when you were doing your videos, I noticed some of them were done outdoors, maybe in your neighborhood or whatever.
Mhm.
The ones that I saw on YouTube, I can't think of any names. I'm not really good with song titles. But when you first started out, did you have friends videoing you with their camera, or were all the videos that were on YouTube done professionally?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
The videos that ended up on YouTube, were they all done professionally, or did you start out with your friends' video?
It was a lot just kind of, it wasn't really with friends, it was just myself. And it started off with me walking around the neighborhood, kind of singing the song. And then it developed, I was actually in a band called Neon Kids with a few other of my friends from a dance school. We created this band for younger kids. And from there, we kind of started getting a bit more professional with our videos. So it was less about kind of in our house. It was more in a white studio and getting a really good quality video, which is, yeah, good quality video and good quality music is really what creates a good content.
Okay, so when you're making your videos, walking around the community, did you get people looking at you like, "What is that kid doing?"
I would try to do it when no one was really around. So mostly, but I mean, in my neighborhood, it's really fine because I knew most of the people. So that really was fine because when they saw me, they knew I was a singer and knew what I did. So they didn't really bother me. But in kind of public areas, I wouldn't do it so noticeable. I would kind of keep it toned down. But I mean, it was okay. I didn't. It was fun.
So how did you market yourself? Because I think I can't remember when exactly I saw your first video, but once I saw what you were doing, I clicked on and watched all of them actually.
Yeah.
How did you market yourself?
Well, I really, as like an artist, how did I market myself as a type of artist? Is that
Yes.
so? It was really after the band that I was in. I decided to sit down and I was thinking of a unique way because a lot of the things with becoming such at a high status is that they're always the first to be something. So Madonna was always the first of being very out, like with her costumes, and Lady Gaga almost copied that idea, but she really took it another step ahead. And Justin Timberlake was this guy who sung really well and R&B style. So what I thought was, and I mean, right now I still haven't figured out my lane because it's always a development. And I kind of went into this suit jacket, really not fancy, but the idea of Prince Charming, so that it was kind of fairy tale based, and that all my fans were called princesses because I feel like everyone needs to be treated like a princess. And it was a good message for people to relate to. And it kind of came off the idea of Taylor Swift, as she's not so out there. She was very sensitive, and I'm kind of very sensitive as well. So I got that idea from that. But I mean, I'm still trying to find this unique aspect to my brand that will really identify me as something else rather than just another teen boy who sings, kind of, yeah. So it's always hard to find your spot
So when you listen to music and choose the songs that you're going to sing, are you usually listening to more pop, more R&B, or?
Well, when I choose my cover songs, I'll usually go for cover songs that are really up and coming on the radio and that are getting really popular, because that's a good way to get your name noticed, because lots of people will search for the most popular song. So right now it's Bad Blood by Taylor Swift. So most people will be looking up Bad Blood on YouTube, and if they go Bad Blood cover, they might come across, I haven't done a cover of it, but they might come across my video of Bad Blood, a cover. So I'll usually choose covers that are up and coming, but when it comes to my own music, it's really R&B. I like the R&B style, and I listen to a lot of Justin Timberlake. I like this style of music. That really inspires me.
So now that, well, I want to ask you more about Australia. I know you're here in the USA, but when it comes to Australia, I've never been there. I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to go. Mm-hmm. But when you listen to the radio in Melbourne, do you have R&B stations and pop stations, or is everything all mixed together?
I mean,
what I heard in England.
In Melbourne, there's kind of this one big radio station that everyone listens to. It's with most music. It's called Nova, and it's very popular in Melbourne, and it's kind of like Kiss FM, so it plays a lot of the not up and coming, but the popular music of today. So we'll have the Taylor Swift, but we don't get a lot of urban music. We don't get a lot of unique sounding music. It's mainly mainstream, which is fun, but also a bit boring, because you want to get a wide variety of music.
Sure. But in Australia, do you have a lot of K-pop? I know you're on the other side of the world, so yeah. Is K-pop popular in Australia, and also British singers and bands?
Well, we get a lot of British singers, so we get Kylie Minogue. Well, no, Kylie Minogue was Australian, but she was big in England, and so England and Australia are very kind of connected because we're British colonies and stuff like that. So we get a lot of the same music and a lot of the same musical influences as with food and stuff like that. But K-pop, not so much. We don't. K-pop to us is very almost corny, but I mean it's their style of music.
It is pretty wild. And if people don't know what I'm talking about, K stands for Korea. That's a huge industry of their own brand of pop, rap, and Lord knows what else. It's very colorful, very frenetic, very, very fun.
It's fun. But no, we don't get a lot of K-pop. And I mean, it is in a different language, so that's a big barrier, but it's we are similar to America in ways of music. So we get a lot of the mainstream stuff.
Okay, so here you are making videos. People are starting to notice. You're gaining fans. I'm noticing a lot of really encouraging messages, or rather comments on your videos. So how does this lead to your coming to the USA? What actually, I mean, you must have done something really amazing to make such a huge leap from doing YouTube videos to coming to the USA. How did that happen?
I was just doing my music in Australia, just balancing music in school, doing videos on the weekend. And I actually got in contact with a producer over here in LA, and he invited me to come out and record some songs, and that was pretty much the big step. We thought, you know what, this is the chance, we're gonna take it, and we're gonna come over here and give it our shot. We all get a shot, and I decided that this was the time. I felt really ready, and I was prepared to come over to LA, leave my school, my friends, my family, except my mum. My mum's here with me, but I left all that behind to really come over here and produce with this producer and make some really good music and give it my shot.
That's a huge commitment.
Yes, very big, very big.
Now, you made it sound easy. I can't imagine everyone who contacts a producer gets to come to the USA?
No.
Are you being modest or what?
I mean, it's very tricky. It's very tricky to get noticed. I mean, I wouldn't say I've been noticed. It's very hard. It's when people say that it was kind of a phone call, it suddenly happened. It's for a lot of people, it isn't like that. I mean, it's a long, long road of good times and bad times, mostly bad times. But when the good times are good, they're very good. But it's a long, long journey for people, and only the really, really lucky ones have that giant leap to stardom and their dreams come true. But in reality, it's a really, really long road. And I've been doing it for quite a bit. I mean,
Wow. I'm curious. I want to ask you about Cody Simpson because he is from Australia. He was also discovered on YouTube. And I don't know much of his history except that he was like, I don't know, 13 when he was discovered. And I think his base is now in the United States. Did he take pretty much the same road that you're taking?
yeah, he did. I know this from just word of mouth, but I know that he went and he got contacted by the same, not the same person, but a producer, and he came over to LA, and yeah, that he really it kind of developed from there. He went on to do his songs and his EP. He released an EP which had Skywriter on it, and from there he started doing tours of malls, and that's really it's a lot about getting out to your fans and going to them because that's how you gain more fans. And you go to school tours, you do school tours, sorry, and you meet new people who happen to like your music. And I know that's his journey that he developed that way. It wasn't quick, it wasn't easy, and I mean, as I said, it isn't easy.
So in your case, what are your plans? Have you gone on tours yet of schools and malls?
I actually have a tour I'm doing in about a week. In 6 days, less than a week, in 6 days, I'm going on this tour called Boys of Summer Tour, and we're going to. It's not a long big tour. It's just a short tour, but any tour is a good tour. And we're going to San Francisco, Reno, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, and Orange County, which will be really fun. And I'm looking forward to performing on. It's my first tour. I've never been on a tour. I don't know what to expect, but I'm pretty sure it'll be lots of fun, and I can't wait to see everyone.
That sounds super exciting. I really hope it goes well. I know it will go well.
Oh, thank you.
So who are the other young performers who will be on this tour, Boys of Summer?
So it's going to be a lot of people at my level. So there'll be someone called Seth Bishop, who's big on You Now. Have you heard of You Now?
No, I haven't.
It's kind of like what we're on right now, but it's a video chat social media platform, and he's very good at that, and he does lots of videos. So he's going to be on the tour. Someone called Tristan Blaine, who's actually a good friend of mine. He's also a singer and dancer. I'm actually a dancer as well. I've been doing dancing longer than my singing. Actually, I've always been a dancer.
You are good. Yeah, I've seen your videos. Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing dancing. So he's also a dancer and singer as me. And I think there's about 10 of us. I can't remember all our names, but there's about 10 of us going to all these dates. It's going to be lots of fun.
So what's the details? Do you play with a band, or does each singer have tracks that they'll sing to?
Well, for this tour, I think it'll mostly just be tracks because everyone has different songs they're going to perform. So it's easier just to bring your own kind of CD track that they play, which is what I'm going to be doing. Usually I might have dances, but on this tour, just because we're going around the place, it's going to be a bit hard to coordinate that. So I'll just be doing it myself with a microphone, singing and doing a bit of dancing. So that'll be fun.
So do you think you'll be nervous, or how do you calm yourself? And at the same time, you're excited, but you want to be calm too. So how do you deal with your emotions?
I mean, I've been performing on stages since I was very young, doing competitions with dancing, doing singing competitions. And one thing I do find is that it's kind of died down now because I'm very used to going on stage, but I always get nervous, but not as much as I did when I was little. But I would get a really dry mouth when I would sing. So my mouth would feel really dry just before I start singing. So that's kind of a nervous thing that happens to me. And one of my singing teachers taught me to bite my tongue because it brings saliva into my mouth, which is very interesting. But I think that was just a concept from my head, just to make me feel less nervous. But I don't get that nervous anymore. I try not to, but I mean, I always feel a bit kind of, I hope this goes well.
Well, I read somewhere that if you're not even a little, you have to be at least a little bit nervous, because they said if you're not nervous at all, then you're going to be overconfident.
Yeah. I am always nervous. I'm never really not nervous because I mean it is nerve-wracking what we're doing. It's going in front of people, and especially because being such a small artist and just coming up through everyone else, it's very hard to go in front of all these people that don't necessarily know you and try to get them to like you. It's very hard and very nerve-wracking, but that's what I do and I enjoy it.
I want to talk about your marketing again. You are 17, you're dealing in a different world than what people my age, I'm 59, we're dealing with way back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. So
Yes.
you're using social media. I'm guessing at your stage of the game, you probably have more fans than maybe a 17-year-old would have had back in my day.
Yeah.
So, so I'm curious, how do you develop your fan base?
Well, social media is obviously it's so new, but it's so good for people like us because it's a way to connect to everyone and get to know your fans, your people. It's really easy to develop. And one thing I do is I try to associate with my videos. I do like hashtags which link to bigger, I don't know how to describe it, but bigger websites, it accesses more people. So I'll usually link with people like Nash Greer and Cameron Dallas. These are all Viners. So
Yeah.
they're very big on social media. So once I hashtag their name on something, it kind of accesses everyone who's looking at their name. It's kind of a complicated thing to say, but it works for me.
That's a good idea, though.
Yeah. So I might do people like Austin Mahone and Becky G and I don't know, Big Harmony and all these big people, and you kind of hashtag their name or you embed it in one of your videos, and when people search their name, you might have to go quite a bit down, but your video will pop up. So you never know; it might get you a couple extra views. So
I think it's really, really clever. That's a really good way to market yourself. I really have to applaud you. That's really brilliant.
it's not just me. I have help from my mum. My mum helps me, but she's always good at helping with everything.
Now we're going to talk about the future. Okay, so you're going on this tour, and oh, how long will it last?
Well, it actually lasts for 2 weeks, but I'm only doing the first week because the first week is in California, so I can easily access all those venues. But the other one is on the other side of the United States, so I can't make it out there, unfortunately. But it goes for a week from what is the date? I think it's from around the 8th of August. I think it starts.
Well, I do hope you can come to the east side of the United States as well eventually.
Eventually, definitely, that'll be lots of fun, lots of new people.
Now, what happens after the tour? Because the world is so different now in the world of music. So, you singers, young singers who are taking part in this tour, is the goal to get a record deal, or I honestly don't know how it works anymore. The world has changed so much.
It's it's very it is the goal is to get your name recognized, to get people who that know you who'll buy your song, and for you, I guess, to make an income. It's very much making an income out of something you love to do. So the goal is to find any way to get that, and it might be through a record deal. So it might be record companies might call you and say, we'd love to sign you and stuff like that. But that rarely happens because you have to do a lot of work for people to just suddenly say, I want to sign you to my record company. But it's a journey, and I mean, you have to develop through fans to get to that place. So for me, it's doing these tours and going around and meeting people. It's about developing and getting fans, and then going to record labels and seeing that if they'll want to sign me as an artist. But I know that some people actually do it through going through themselves by themselves. So it might be going through radio. They might have someone they know that'll contact radio channels and get your song played on radio. And it's really about getting out there and getting people to know you. So either through radio, so people know what your song sounds like, or through going to them and doing tours and they know you. So it's a lot. The end goal is to make an income and making fans and people liking your music. It's really about that. If you have music that people like, if you really try hard enough, it'll happen in time. I mean, even if it's a really long time.
Okay, okay. So, do you have a better chance if you are also a songwriter, and do you write your own songs?
Yes, usually you will have a better chance as a songwriter if you're a singer and a songwriter, because a lot of the ways you make money is not necessarily through um, there's a lot of ways, but being a songwriter also helps at earning money because you're considered a songwriter on that song. You get credit, and you make songwriters credit. So being a songwriter is much more, much better than just being a singer. And I do write my own songs, and I also co-write with people, because definitely co-writing helps, because I'm only 17. I don't know really how to write a song. I might have a good idea, I might have some few lyrics, but these people really come in and help me create a full song. So it is good being a songwriter.
So, at this stage in your career, you're, for the most part, doing cover songs with the plans to do originals later.
Yeah, the plan is to do originals later. It's about doing originals, starting covers to get a fan base, to get people who know your name, and then you kind of go into covers, because that'll get you to, yeah, it'll get, people will have, sorry, people will know your name through the covers, and then when you do originals, people will look up your music and they'll see you have original and they'll view it.
I think that's a real good way to stand
So
out.
that's really confusing. I apologize.
No, no, it's fine. It's hard to talk about art sometimes, you know, because there's so much to it that we don't really get to hear about if we're just fans.
Yeah.
So it's hard to explain.
There's a lot to it.
If I'm not mistaken, though, Megan Trainor seems that she started out as a songwriter for other people, right?
Yeah. Yes, you did. I know that the song All About All About That Bass was actually shown to artists like Katy Perry and Beyonce for them to record, but then no one actually took it up. So she decided, you know what, it's just a great song, I have to do it myself. And look where she is now. It was a pretty good song.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a good song for Beyonce. I'm glad she did it herself. I can't see Beyonce doing that one.
But I'm not exactly sure who she put it to, but I know that it wasn't originally for her.
She might not have expected to connect so well with her audience.
No.
I think that's a wonderful story that she was going to write music for other people and ended up being a star herself.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, it. So I'm very curious with you being from Australia. Okay, I know you were probably born in the late 90s.
Yes.
This is a weird question, but I discovered just from watching cable TV and whatnot, Australia has some fantastic kids shows.
Pardon me, kid shows?
Children's shows.
Children's shows.
There's some shows that I've been watching through the years, like Double Trouble is probably my favorite. These shows I mentioned to you, you might not have seen because you might be, because these are like 90s and 2000 shows. But Sky Trackers and Spellbinder and Wayne Manifesto.
I haven't heard of them.
Oh, they're absolutely fabulous. I'm just curious, what kid shows did you grow up watching when you were a youngster in Australia?
What I remember is that I actually watched the Wiggles. So I believe they're Australian. I'm not sure if you've heard of them, the Wiggles. They all wore different colors, and you know that is actually the inspiration for my children's band called Neon Kids. We all had different colors.
I should have made that connection because each kid wore a different color.
Yeah, so that was how that inspired me, and I really liked that show. If I remember as a kid, I used to go to their concerts and everything. So, and the Wiggles were huge in Australia.
Now, when you were with the group Neon Kids, that was your group. You started that?
Yes, we started it. It was originally through, all the kids were through a dance school that I went to. So in Melbourne, I went to a dance school, and I had the idea of creating this band for children, and we kind of auditioned some people, and we found there were 3 girls and 3 boys, and we created this group called Neon Kids, and we went around Melbourne just performing at local shows and making kids happy. So it was really for younger kids.
Yeah, I thought that was a good precursor to what you're doing now. Yeah. Definitely. Yes. That was really, I think that was good training for you. I don't know if you realized it, but that was really, it seems that was really good training for you.
Definitely, because it also helped with my nerves and everything, because going on as a group, it's much easier than going on by yourself. So doing the group first, it really got me comfortable on stage and performing. And then after going off on my own, it really helped me to be more confident on stage. It really helped.
Okay. Now, again, you're going on tour in 6 days.
Yes.
How do you distinguish yourself? I know you said you haven't narrowed down.
Narrowed it down. I'm still searching.
So do you have any ideas on what you would, if you could envision yourself in 5 years, can you say what your dream is and what you think you're working toward?
I mean, what I'm really working towards is, I guess, it is to entertain people, but also it's just to be recognized and have people listen to my music and feel better about themselves and inspire people. And I really want to get to a certain level where I feel happy with where I've come, and I feel like I've accomplished a lot of things. And yeah, I don't know. It all depends, because some journeys are really long, some journeys are quick if you have all the right connections. So, I mean, what I'm looking for is a career, and a career in music where I can do what I love for all my life and earn a decent living.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, with your being 17, does this mean that if you score beautifully as a singer, does that mean that you don't have plans for university? Or do you think you'll take a break and go to university and then come back to music?
I mean, in Australia, a lot of kids take a gap year, which is where they take a year off and they might go traveling or they might just sit around. But I think I might take a gap year and really, because at the moment I am doing my final year of school, so a lot of my time is dedicated to schoolwork. So it's a bit hard to juggle both things at once, singing and schoolwork. But once I finish school, I really think I'll take a year and focus all my energy on my music and just see how it goes. And I mean, there's always a chance that I might become something where I really don't need to do university, or I might juggle both. I might do university, I might go to college here in the United States. There's a lot of options.
Yeah, you're at a great age to really figure it out as you go along, because either way, I think you're going to do very well.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope so.
So, Nick, what I would like for you to do after the show is to email me with links that you would want me to add to this. This will become a YouTube video.
Mhm.
I would like to have people to click on the description and go to your website and check out your videos. So you can feel free to send me that information after the show.
Yeah. And I'll send you a link to my new song. It's called Beautiful.
Oh, wonderful. Looking forward to it.
Yes, it's 8th of the 8th. I think it releases on the first day of my tour.
Wonderful. Did you want to throw some, as we call, shout outs to any of your family and friends?
Shout out to everyone who's been following me, who follows my music. I mean, I really appreciate all that. And shout out to you guys, because you really made this happen. And I'm over here in LA pursuing what I love. And it's all because of you guys, and it's all for you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nick.
Yeah, it was great chatting with you.
Absolutely. Okay, that was TV Skywriter. It was Nick Drossos, 17-year-old singer from Australia. Now, if you'd like to be on TV Skywriter, just write to me, durhamskywriter@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, if you're in the area, Durham, North Carolina, be sure to check out the Durham Skywriter. That's Durham's online community paper. It's what I do online, in addition to doing TV Skywriter. And with that, I bid you adieu. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Ciao for now, and I'll see you later, Nick.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Tell me what you want, what you like, it's okay. I'm a little curious too. Tell me if it's wrong, if it's right, I don't care. I can keep a secret good. You got my mind on your body and your body on my mind.